I'm not a very sports or team-minded person, although as a boss, I've learned to become one, I think. I've learned to understand the value of morale and where my place relegates my emotional connection to the guys too. You find ways to integrate yourself into the team. But it's a long process, learning to become part of something and to compromise and where your shortcomings are and how do I get the result that I'm looking for from a group of people without being a tyrant. It's a job. There's an element of it that's a lot of fun, but a lot of the time the fun ends up being a result of trying to maintain either productive frame of mind or morale within the group. A lot of the things that you find yourself doing on tour, although from the outside may appear to be like a party, is more just trying to keep your frame of mind positive, because it's very easy in a group of human beings, specifically a group of males, to find yourself getting depressed. You're away from home, you're away from being able to deal with problems that arise at home and children and family and wives and girlfriends and all those sorts of things. Everybody deals with it differently. Some people enjoy escape, be that drugs or alcohol or women or anything like this, and others find themselves getting really insular. Others will find themselves really engaged in the work. Like several of my guys do the tech work as well. Dave and Mike, they also do the tech work and they get paid an additional salary to do that. But it keeps their minds occupied so they don't fall into that trap. For myself, I play guitar and write, but not consciously. I don't do it in a way like I would at home. It's something that I do more as a meditative sort of process. It allows me to turn my mind off as opposed to focusing on things that I have less control over than I would at home. I find the biggest hurdle, everybody has their own hurdles, but the biggest one for me is probably just social etiquette and social responsibilities that unless I'm touring, I don't have or engage in whatsoever. So the transition period from being completely on my own or with family to being traveling with people and small talk and editing my moods and being around a bunch of new people and then being the focus of a ton of attention is really, it's not impossible, but it's a transition that usually takes upwards of 2 weeks to completely integrate. And at that point you find ways to emotionally protect yourself. Ironically, in those very ways, you find yourself at a disadvantage when you get home because you're unable to connect with the people that deserve it the most, because you've spent sometimes months at a time being emotionally defensive just to stay healthy. So often there'll be problems that arise at home, flooding, washing machine, or something happens and electrical goes out, or somebody gets cancer, like any number of things. And when I'm out here, because of the way I write, because of the way that I feel empathy, it's just so hard to relate. I go from being there and being present and being able to function in a way that is conducive to helping the scenarios, to being out here where I just shut myself off so I can deal with people, hundreds of people, that are often projecting on you what they see or hear in the music and then assuming that you are it, which you're not. So to protect yourself from that, often I find that my ability to really help at home is lost, and that's frustrating. And is there anything I can do about that? I mean, I think it just requires perseverance, and I'm working on it. For me, musicians who I respect are the ones that when they're on stage, they are simply venting the soundtrack of their life. And so in that sense, sure, you are your music. Like when I'm up on stage, it's like what I'm being is me, an exaggerated version of me, but it's not an act. But at the same time, when you're off stage, it's like it doesn't matter. The true test, I think, of your person is what you do to people that can do nothing for you. I think learning to be a good person and learning to really be honest with your music and your vibrations and all this stuff is the goal. To be who I am through and through, good and bad, and then work on the things that are causing me problems and then try and make them better. And that's where the music comes from. So the music is more like the vomit than it is the thing. I think people that hold on to the music as being a definition of themselves, it's like keeping bags of shit. But you have to get rid of it, or else you can't move on. So nothing that I've done is of much value. It's just all a byproduct of something that I consider to be of great value, which is my desire to become actualized as an entity. And then when I die, however far along I got, there's a trail of mistakes that hopefully other people who have some sort of interest in that potential of the human species can sort of say, okay, well, that guy fucked up there, and there. But the result of that fuck up was this, and that's cool. I can take that. And then your work becomes more of a step in a ladder for others rather than anything directly relating to your own trip. The things that I'm hoping people receive from my work is inspiration to do their own rather than anything pertaining to what I do. For a while there, I was really putting on a mask with a suit and all that sort of stuff because it was easier to perform without having to actually participate. But now it's more that you're participating, and I think that's healthy because I'm not a big fan of being around people. So being forced to participate with them in a way, it's symbiotic, you know. Hopefully they can enjoy my work and I can learn to be less afraid.